Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central.
Podcasting and streaming worldwide, it's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show today from the Hemi Hideout in Brookshire, Texas. Just ahead, we've got some interesting things that we haven't been able to get a hold of and get to you because we've been so busy doing other things here. So we're going to get to all of that. Jeff's got the feature on the 5 things you shouldn't do if you drive a manual transmission in your car.
Yep.
And one of them is not taking your clothes off.
No, that's
another story for another day.
That's another segment.
Okay,
well, here we go.
All right, and well, cruise-in calendar, we got headlines, we got stuff to do, so
Okay.
you just stay with us. We're going to have a good time.
Okay.
Along with Mike out of this world, Mars, we always need more Jeff Zekin, and Chief Cook and Bottle Washer, Chief Engineer David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. You just need to calm your jets. I'll get to you in just a minute.
You got to slow him down sometimes.
I know he's doing 100 miles. Oh, I got to do this.
He's a drummer. He's a drummer. He's got to keep moving.
I know. So let's talk about the 5 things you shouldn't do if you drive a manual transmission car. Now, let me just say this about that. The manual transmission is becoming a rarity.
Yes.
And it is also a built-in anti-theft device because no one knows how to drive a manual transmission.
Or valet device.
Or valet, yeah.
Or valet, yeah. We do not drive. Do you see that sign now? We do not drive manual transmission cars. Okay, so what do? You can't park anywhere else, and you said valet. We'll let you park it over there. Oh, okay. No tip for you. All right. So
I don't want to do it now.
What are the other things about the manual transmission car?
All right, these 5 things. Well, the stick shift cars, like you said, they're not in vogue anymore. But it is a fun way to drive, keeping you fully engaged on the road and allowing to do that. So using a manual transmission puts responsibility on the finer things of driving. So resting your hand on the shifter. It's important that every time you shift gears, you fully remove your hand from the shifter. Don't do that. You attempt to leave your hand on the shifter, especially if you've been shifting a lot, but it's not good for the gearbox. The components of the shifter are sensitive. They need to have clean shifts, so the slightest bit of unnecessary pressure strains them.
Don't
Do
touch it.
Number 4, resting your foot on the clutch. It's similar to the vein of the shifter knob.
No.
And you might use it frequently as you shift, using it as a footrest. It's entirely not your fault, though,
Burn
Don.
up the clutch.
Yeah, because most modern cars with automatic transmissions have a footrest on the left side next to the brake pedal.
Called the dead pedal.
Yeah, exactly right. So if you're used to driving as automatic and you get into a stick shift car, it's just a natural habit to do that. So they're very sensitive also. If you leave it on there, sometimes you'll actually engage the clutch, depending on how sensitive and what kind of car it is.
Or you'll certainly engage the throw-out bearing and have that thing blow out on you.
Exactly.
And that might as well have a new transmission.
And that's a lot of money. So number 3, Mike, staying in gear while stopped. Whenever you come to a complete stop in a manual transmission car, you're supposed to shift the gear into neutral. Leaving it in the start mode or start position, leaving it in gear is not good for it. So leaving the car in gear while stopped.
Because it engages the clutch.
Right.
So you put it
puts
in
a
neutral.
strain on the gearbox.
You are looking at me like, oh, no,
No,
what is he talking about?
well,
I know you, Mars.
I don't drive that much in this kind of traffic. And in my mind, I get to the red light. I got my foot on the clutch because I'm going to use it pretty quick.
Oh, God.
Well,
You're such a liar. You know that as well as I do because you were never taught to take your foot off the clutch and put the car in neutral.
That's right. I wasn't. That just. I mean, what we're saying kind of makes sense because we all know shift happens, but it's just not the way I was taught to do it.
Well, I will tell you this. I had a friend of mine, acquaintance, not friend, but acquaintance of mine, that in the automatic transmission car, he'd pull up to stoplight and put it into neutral.
Really?
And then every single time. Drove me insane because every time that he'd put it in drive. Every time you put it in drive, it clunk, clunk,
Yeah.
clunk.
Well,
why are you doing that?
But the engine vibration also can damage the transmission parts, the small sensitive parts. Just the vibration alone can vibrate them. Huh. So number 2, shifting without the clutch, Don. Whenever you shift gears on a manual transmission, you need to put the clutch in all the way to fully unlock the shifter. The lever will still move, but the clutch isn't pressed down. Forcing the shifter is possibly the worst thing you could do for your gearbox. It's if you're
Shut
unlucky,
up! What?
No, I'm just thinking. I had an old Muncie, aluminum case Muncie.
You could jam
and
those.
about 6,000 RPM. You had to hammer that thing, and sooner or later, it's going to go into gear, clutch or no clutch.
And if you're unlucky, you could leave your shifter limp and useless. Number 1, coasting in neutral. It's an old trick used by some drivers to save gas. When you're coasting in neutral, your car has drastically reduced its functionality. If you're rolling down a hill at high speed, extremely rough road, and it's going to be hard to stop that vehicle. If something jumps out in front of you, you could crash. Coasting in neutral is illegal in several states, so even if you save money on the gas, you could still use it for the ticket.
Well, I think that there's some parts that are still moving, and even when you're coasting, that you have to be aware of. Make sure you have plenty of lubrication for it.
Yeah, don't leave it limp.
And unlubricated.
Mm-hmm. And there you have it. Those are the 5 things you're not supposed to do.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
We all learned something.
I
Learn
was going to
something
say
new every day.
You could have one of those transmissions like Erica Enders has.
Wouldn't that be sweet?
You let the clutch out, and
Yeah.
then you leave it out and just shift the gears.
Yeah.
But do you know how much that transmission costs?
Well,
A lot.
Back in the day, we used to take and build
6
clutch
figures.
flights. We'd take a torque flight transmission and cut the front of it off, and you could mount it onto a bell housing. And actually, there's a way, if you guys knew how to do it. I didn't know how to do it. I've seen it done, and I watched it. But it was actually a clutch with an automatic. You'd let the clutch out to get rolling, and after that, you shifted with the automatic transmission.
Well, paddle shifting is different than a 6-speed or 5-speed, 4-speed. So that's a different animal altogether because it's more synchroed and
That's going to be your next assignment, Jeff. You're going to have to try to explain that to us.
Yeah.
Do that.
Okay.
Okay. I have a lot of stories.
Survey says.
I have a lot of stories that I haven't gotten in this time. I did want to do recalls. Software error may cause a loss of drive power in the Lucid Air 22 to 24 model year. I know that with a lot of Lucids out there.
Mm-hmm.
Jaguar I-Pace, Leslie. High voltage battery may overheat. Jaguar I-Pace 2019 to 2020. Loose connection between the battery and the bus bars.
Wow.
Those are special bars that you drink martinis at, and you get delivered there by a big school bus. Not.
Yellow bus.
Seat belt bezel may damage or tear belt in a crash in the Chevy Silverado EV for 2024. Ford Explorer 2023 model. Fastener connecting knuckle and strut may be loose. Well, look for a crash there.
Mm-hmm.
Power steering pressure line may detach and leak in the Ford Super Duty models, E350, E450, 21 to 22 model years. Mercedes-Benz AMGs, CLS 450, E450, 21 to 23 models, 48 ground cable, not tightened properly. Whoops. Hyundai
Phillips.
Palisade for 2024, the engine valve springs may break. And guess what happens in that case?
Yeah.
Nothing
It's
good.
a catastrophic engine failure. That's what that is. Water damage to the starter solenoid may cause a fire in the Genesis G70, G80, and G90. What am I driving?
G80.
Of course.
Well, this
That's
is
what you were driving when you got here.
This is the 2017 to 2019 model
Yeah,
years.
yours
It
is
hasn't
4.
caught fire yet, so we're good. Jeep Grand Cherokee and the Wrangler for 21 to 24 model years. Inoperative defrosting and defogging system. Those are the recalls.
Just roll your window down.
Roll the window down. Someday soon, plug-in cars may no longer need a plug. Electric car drivers would simply pull into a specialized parking space when it's time to power up, wait for a light on their dashboard to switch on, and then hop out of the car and go about your day. It's a promise of the wireless EV charging and inductive transfer of electrons that would eliminate the need for all those pesky cords, kind of like cell phone chargers.
Right. That's
Companies are coalescing around standardized technology. Automakers are embarking on wireless experiments, and municipalities are mapping out use cases. Even Tesla is interested, but major hurdles remain. Chief among them, slow charging speeds and the money and interest needed to build stations and get more car makers on board.
There is on e-racing, it's like IRL racing, but they're the e-cars where they have the 2 cars
Yep.
electric. They actually have that where you can get a boost of electricity if you go over a certain part of the track.
Isn't that a Mario Brothers game or
Something like that. But it's actually in existence
You would know
now
that
through racing.
You would know that.
I got kids and grandkids.
Yeah. How many times have you played the Mario Brothers?
Just
I
last
don't
night.
play Mario Brothers.
No,
No.
not recently anyway.
Well,
Just saying.
We've got an old Atari that we're going to break out.
yeah,
and play
that.
Toyota
Pong.
plans to tap its record profits and share the wealth with suppliers so that strapped parts makers can keep up with the Japanese car makers' breakneck sales and production pace. World's largest auto manufacturer said it will pay higher prices to encourage better labor conditions at some 400 suppliers in Japan, starting in the fiscal year that begins April 1st. Hikes will partly help suppliers hire more workers to help better shoulder the workload. They'll also help suppliers afford improvements to the work environment at their factories. Hello, America, where are you? Once again being left behind. It's unclear how much extra Toyota will pay in total. Increases will vary by supplier, and negotiations have only just begun, he said. The course correction comes after Toyota Motor Corporation dashed to record sales and production levels in calendar year 2023 as it ramped up factories to feed pent-up demand. Since last summer, when the global semiconductor shortage eased, Toyota has been cranking out the cars.
Nice.
Let's see. Record operating profit, $34.76 billion in the current fiscal year ending March 31st. That's a lot of dough,
It is.
Ray.
It certainly is.
So when you go to your Toyota dealer and say, how much do you want for that? I can't afford that.
They could just lower the price.
Yeah, they
right?
can afford that.
Could they just lower the price?
Well, they could, but they're not gonna. Why would you do that?
Not going to do it.
Then you're not gonna do it because you could spill the.
Hooey.
I'm not going to even go there, Jeff. I can't because it would not be good. This is an adult, children-friendly show. I was going to say it's an adult show, but it's not. Could easily become that.
We could.
We could, yeah. Why are you?
I thought you were going to break. Sorry.
I can go to break, but I want to do a couple more stories
Sure.
first.
Go ahead.
Ford Motor Company said it's going to begin reopening Michigan Central Station in Detroit almost 6 years after the automaker bought the building from the Maroon family. The hulking former train depot that, for years, served as a symbol of the city's rise and fall over many decades, will reopen starting June 6th, Ford said Tuesday. Michigan Central, designed in the Beaux Arts style, opened in 1913 and has about 500,000 square feet across 18 floors. Amtrak service at the train station was halted in 1988. Have you seen a picture of it? Go online and look at it. You're going to go,
Yep.
That is absolutely beautiful.
It's a big event there. It really is.
Yeah, it is. And I'm glad that somebody's taking it over. Ford, that fits, okay?
In that area that actually is, not growing, but remodelized.
It's revitalized.
Yeah.
It's coming along. General Motors delaying the first sales of its 2024 midsize pickups to ensure that the software on the vehicles functions properly. Sales of the new model year GMC Canyon and Chevy Colorado are being delayed while a software fix is tested and validated. The decision affects about 15,000 pickups, according to a GMC spokesperson. The vehicles have started to ship to dealerships, though none have been delivered to customers, and GM said the stop sale is not related to a safety issue and should be lifted shortly. That's a shame. I like that pickup truck. Subaru temporarily suspending production at 3 of its plants in Japan, including the factories making the Forester and Crosstrek crossovers for export, as well as the BRC Sporty Coupe, after a 35-year-old veteran was crushed to death.
What?
After a 25-ton mold fell on him.
No.
Splat. Not making fun of it. That's terrible. But I'll tell you what, it's a quick way to go.
Yeah.
I went to a Corolla factory. I think it was in Mississippi. Did you go on that tour with me?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Yeah, and anyway, this was a factory that included a stamping plant. So they stamped the body panels in the very back of the factory that you look down and you can't even see the back of the factory by the naked eye. It goes on that far. So in the back of the factory is the stamping plant. So they got all the molds from Japan, where they make the molds.
Of course.
And these things are laying on the floor. And there's probably 24 of them. And they're massive, huge iron pieces of metal that are molded, okay? And so they have 2 cranes. One of these cranes takes the mold out of the stamping machine, picks it up, moves it over to the floor, grabs another one, puts it back in the machine. And the machine looks like it has drawers, okay? And the drawer slides in. The bottom part of the mold is down in the bottom, top of the mold up at the top. This big thing comes along and goes, boom! The whole floor, the whole building shakes.
Yeah.
And this happened to be the side of the Toyota Corolla 4-door sedan. Comes off of one piece of sheet metal, okay? Both of the doors, right? It molds the doors, it moves it in to the next set of molds and their actual cutters and cuts the doors out of the mold, okay? So now you got the surround and the doors. And they move out of this stamping machine. The doors get hung on, for lack of a better term, a coat hanger, okay? Where the side panel does, but 2 guys have to pick it up and put it on a coat hanger. Then that moves to the assembly line. But the doors stay with the part that surround the doors.
To make sure it fits.
To make sure, because every one is just a little bit off.
Yeah, and it doesn't hit right.
But with that, those doors fit perfectly. But now think of this. How do you keep the doors with the surrounds together with the same car and assemble it? Because the doors go one way and the rest of the car goes another.
Don't they have they've got a tag on it?
I don't know how they do. I don't know how they keep it together, but somehow they do.
You scan it.
Because the doors are the most complicated part of the car. Because they go up to a separate an assembly line. They put all the stuff inside the doors.
Yeah.
The part that's touched by human hands the most.
Comes back together. How they do that, I have no clue. But it was an amazing feat. Time now for a quick break. You are on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show, available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream our 3-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com, and podcasts at your favorite podcast provider. In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In-Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Okay, thank you for joining us today here on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. We're wrapping things up quickly here at the Hemi Hideout in Brookshire, Texas. Go online, check them out, hemihideout.com. get all the information about the place. It's a wonderful place. Plan your next party out here or gathering. John has open houses all the time. Keep up with all of that. They've also got a Facebook page that works out pretty well, too. Time now for the cruise-in calendar. We got one coming up, as a matter of fact, a week from tomorrow.
Right, a week from tomorrow, we've got, Coffee and Chrome.
Coffee and Chrome.
Coffee and Chrome.
That's going to be at the
Avalon Diner.
Yep.
But today, Saturday, obviously, if you're not here, you're not anywhere. But there was one that just ended in Kingwood this morning when we got here, but that's over with. It was at the Kingwood Whataburger. Also today, going on right now from 10 to 2, is the Unique and Antique Car Show at Harvest Market Wood Forest in Montgomery County. Also tonight, actually, 6 p.m., the Wharton Cruise Night at the Domino's Pizza in Wharton. Talked about it last week. It still goes on. Hubba hubba. And then this one goes out to my cousin Douglas in Corpus Christi. 7 p.m. tonight to 11 p.m. is Vic's Car Cruise Night at Vic's Famous Burgers. So be there or be square. Thank you for that information, Douglas. Tomorrow, February 25th, 9 a.m. to noon, you got Rides and Coffee out in Katy at the Detail Garage. February 25th, which is tomorrow, noon to 8, Sunday test and tune at Houston Motorsports Park, Mike. Look them up because you can get a test and tune there. It's in Houston Motorsports Park.
I want to do a dyno day. I want to go to a dyno.
I think this is kind of what they're talking about.
That's not a dyno.
It's a test and tune.
It's an 8-mile drag strip.
Yeah, they're out there. You come out there and just run so you can test it and tune it. And
then set an appointment to do a dyno.
There's once in a while they'll pop up at like $50 a pull,
something like
some
that.
Saturday night or something.
No, I don't want to do that. I want to go to somebody that knows my LS1 engine and knows my Corvette and recommend some sort of a chip that I can put into it.
You want a tune.
And then
that's test and tunes.
And then I want to put it on a dyno so you can do the fine tuning on your computer.
Right.
Yeah,
and then one last one, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow, Sunday at Freddy's on 1960 in Houston. Go do it. There you go, sir.
All right, thank you. Are we still good on all of our commercials and everything?
We got one more to end the show, and we're good.
I know.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's on you. You got
it's always on me.
Headlines.
Well, I got that. Joe Biden's administration is set to ease proposed yearly requirements through 2030 of its sweeping plan to aggressively cut tailpipe emissions and ramp up electric vehicle sales, according to two sources, and they told Reuters. Automakers, dealers, and the UAW have urged the Biden administration to slow the proposed ramp-up in EV sales. They say EV technology is still too costly for many mainstream U.S. consumers, you think? And that more time is needed to develop the charging infrastructure. Okay, I'm done with this. I don't want more bad news. I don't want to hear this.
Don't be.
It's an election year. You're going to get a little bit more.
Just shut up.
Don't be dissing my buzz, man.
Yeah, exactly. So
negative vibes, man. Always with the negative vibes.
I want to go back to the sold car roundup from Hemmings.
Okay.
And we don't have to play the game. I just want to. These are some that I picked out because Leslie and I have been looking at Volkswagen Super Beetle. I don't remember what made it the Super Beetle, but in 1972 they had that, and there's one online that sold for $10,500.
Wow.
So if you're into VW bugs, then there you go.
Or Super Beetles.
This is actually for. I'm trying to think. This would be for your granddaughter.
Okay.
A 1999.
Kathy's got to listen up.
Buick Park Avenue. A 1999 Buick Park Avenue. Sold price $3,200.
He said that's
ding.
He said that's Kylie's car.
Yeah, Kylie's car.
Read it again.
99 Buick Park Avenue Beast. $3,200. We could put some wheels on it, lower it a little bit, let her pull into the car.
Put a sound system in the back.
Fuzzy dice.
Let her pull in the car parking lot with that. With all of her friends driving those JDMs. 64 Ford F-150 100. I'm sorry, Ford F-100. Sold price $10,500. Got a lot of patina on that.
Ah.
Here is the. Who was I talking to? Was it somebody? One of my friends I was telling about. The 1974 Volkswagen 13-window combi van.
Yeah.
Was it you? We talked about it. Here it is. Sold price $42,000. Back in the day, you could have bought 40 of those. 40 of them.
It's a
42.
fixer-upper.
No, it's not. This is a brand new.
Yeah,
all fixed up.
it's all restored.
Then that's
for that kind of money.
42,000.
40 grand for the 13 window. That's all.
That's a no.
Yeah, no, that's cheap.
$8,500 for a '66 Ford F100. I don't know what it looks like underneath. It looks pretty good. You want a fire truck? Get one for $4,200. A 41 American LaFrance. No, would be my guess on that one.
Yeah,
and
but
finally,
the
the
neighbors would love you.
2007 Mercedes-Benz CL 550. Here's another one for your granddaughter. Sold price $11,550. Look at that, Jeff.
She
She'd
just
be
needs
styling, and it's a two-door. She'd be styling going to school in that.
She needs to come up with the 11.5. I'll give her the 50.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure you would. Well, gentlemen, it's been a fun day out here at the Hemi Hideout.
Nice.
We've had a good
has.
time. Yeah. Now, Uncle Bob showed up.
Yep.
He was here a minute ago. He's wandering around
I
somewhere.
think he was sitting down there.
Yeah, I know,
behind
but he's
behind the
doing
forest.
it. James Fox
There you go.
and Giselia's here. Tommy Noto, CJ, Bill and Sharon Seitz. We've got our little.
You got somebody
clique
back
going
there.
on. Somebody back there.
Who are you?
I'm trying to hide from them. I don't know
the
who
young
they
lady.
are.
You missed her.
That's CJ.
Okay. All right.
I got her.
I thought he was
Yeah,
CJ.
no, she's right there.
Okay.
No, that's Tommy. It's
Tommy.
Tommy Noto, the fabulous Tommy Noto.
I've heard about that. I read that.
I
somewhere.
know, and I brag about Tommy Noto all the time.
It was in
Don't
the
I?
paper.
James will tell you. Yeah, he was in the wanted poster at the
Post office?
At the post office.
Oh boy.
Oh, I thought that was who you were writing about on the bathroom wall.
Post
a while ago.
office isn't having post offices
All right.
aren't doing well right now.
We're going to wrap up today's show right after a quick break. This is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Stay with us.
The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Loopy Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Loopy Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Loopy Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Loopy Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Loopy's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Loopy Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Loopy Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Well, that's it for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Here's your invitation to follow us on Facebook. Give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our stuff if you would, please. We'll keep you posted on all things automotive all week long, including award-winning interviews, new car reviews, upcoming events, cruise-ins, racing, and car, truck, and SUV news. We need you to get your car fixed during the week. Don't forget, you can find the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 via the iHeartRadio app. We live stream this show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com, usually every Saturday, 8 to 11 a.m. Today was a little bit different.
Yep.
Daily 30-minute podcasts available from your favorite streaming provider. We post a new episode every day. Special thanks to John and Diane Hovis and Shelley Gates here at the Hemi Hideout. The In Wheel Time Marketing Advertising Advisor and a Video Technical Director is We Always Need More Jeff Zekin.
Yep.
For booking agent, video editor, posting queen, and overall do-it-all, Mike Mars, and chief engineer David Ainsley, I'm Don Armstrong. We hope you join us for another live, award-winning production of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show next Saturday, March 2nd already.
Yeah.
On all of our In Wheel Time Car Talk outlets. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there.
That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.